was very gracious to us, and I understand the goal of this bill, and I appreciate the fact that it's to serve a positive goal. I respectfully find it difficult to believe that police officers are failing to render aid to stranded motorists because they're afraid that some plaintiff's lawyer is going to jump out of the woods and sue them. As it stands now, if that police officer were not in the line of duty, were not at that time in the line of duty, then he'd be covered by the Good Samaritan statute. No problem. If he were in the line of duty, working for the state, and he were to do this, then initially he would have sovereign immunity, as all agents of the state do. So the only time that a police officer would be subject to any form of suit relative to this action, or any other for that matter for the most part, would be if it involves some element for which this state has already decided it will grant limited exception to bring suit, which would involve the use of a motor vehicle, the use of real tangible personal property. I think it's certainly possible, depending upon the moment and the time and the way this went about, that exception, that limited exception could apply. And in that moment, the question that I think the bill raises is, why do we need to immunize the behavior, lift the standard to a willful or wantonness or conscious indifference, which we would never expect our officers to do? Why do we not want to make sure that in those moments they are held to a standard of reasonable care? Our state, through a long period of years, has looked at numerous scenarios having and obtaining sovereign immunity and only granting limited exception. It would seem that that's the steps that have been taken. That's the moment in time. And if this happens to fall under that, and if there is a violation of the standard of care, if for some reason it was done when it shouldn't have been done, if it wasn't done at the right time or the right roadway or with the right warnings out there, then again, I don't think that we're actually going to pass the law and result in police officers running hither and yon to provide this type of road assistance. But more importantly, I would still like for them to do whatever job they undertake with a degree of care that we would expect of each other. If I stopped, it'd be in Good Samaritan, but I would still want to do it with a standard of reasonable care. So from our perspective, we are more than happy to continue to work on this language, but we just question, why did the state give this very limited exception, and then why would we take a piece of it back?
Okay. Any question for Mr. Blevins? Okay, Mr. Clardy?
Yeah, Mr. Blevins, I know where Cut and Shoot is, but where is hither and yon?
It's about 4 miles to the south of Cut and Shoot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Blevins.